Hello world, this is Samir Nigam and I welcome you all on this lecture of machine learning training program. And in this particular lecture, we are going to have a little bit about Python crash course. Okay, so we'll be implementing some basics things in the crash course so that you can refresh your knowledge about Python and you'll be able to use this knowledge, use your Python knowledge much effectively in your machine learning training program. So let's start with the first one. Let's start with the integers. So basically there are multiple data types in Python programming language, like integers, float, string, list, tuple, sets, dictionaries, all of the things we are going to talk about. But I'm just telling you that we are not going to talk about the data types in too much into detail. Okay, I'm just refreshing your knowledge. If you don't know anything about Python, then I recommend you to go with the Python crash course or any kind of good Python programming language training on YouTube, or on maybe you can take my Python course, but it's all your choice. So let's start with it. Let's refresh your Python. So we are using the Google Colab for training. So let's refresh your Python once again. So basically, first of all, you have to know about integers. So this number is known as integers, which is known as like integer. If you type of 1, if you type of 1, then it will show you the integer. Okay, then there is another data type called float, which is known as 1.0. And if you type as 1.0, you'll be able to know that it is known as float. Okay, so after that, if we talk about any kind of additional operation like 1 plus 3 or 1 plus 4 or 4 plus 2, all these kind of things is known as addition operators. And also you can subtract the things, you can multiply the things as you want. So if you type 4 divided by 2, it is giving us 2.0. Okay, even if you type 5 divided by 2, it will give you 2.5. But as you can see, it is giving us in the decimal format. 4 divided by 2 is given as the indeed decimal format. So what we can do is, if you want to get your result in the integer format, then you can type 4//2, then it will give you in the integer format. Okay, if you want to do any kind of power operation, that means 2 to the power 3, 2 to the power 4, then you will be using double asterisk, which is known as 2 to the power 3 as 8. And the beauty of Python is that it also follows the BODMAS operation very good, like 2 plus 3 asterisk 5. Okay, plus 5 will be known as like 22. Okay, and if you want your BODMAS operation to be if you want the addition to be performed first, and subtract, and then multiplication, and then addition, or maybe any kind of things, then you can simply do in the brackets form. Okay, so basically that is the one of the best thing about Python that I love about Python, is that it perfectly follows the BODMAS operation. Okay, so there's another thing called remainder. You already know it. Just a second. Yeah, now it will work. So 4 divided by 2, the remainder is 0. 4 divided by 3, the remainder is 1. 1.33. Okay, I did 4 divided by 3. So 4 in remainder 3, if I type, then we'll get the remainder as 1. Okay, so that you already know about this. If you have enrolled in this training program, you must already know about this particular thing. So let's now discuss about variable assignments quickly. Okay, variable assignments. So variable assignments is basically known as assigning a value to a variable. So if you type var is equal to 2, then it is assigning the value of the variable to variable 2 to the this particular variable. So basically now 2 values is stored in the variable var. After that, if we try to see the variable var, then it will show us as 2. Okay, so next what we do is, if type x is equal to 2, and if I type y is equal to 3, okay, so it will store 2 into x and 3 into y, 2 inside x and 3 inside y. And if I type x plus y, it will give us 5 definitely. Okay, so that is the one of the best thing about Python. Okay, like you don't need to type any kind of data type or something, just like int a is equal to 6 like we do in Java. We don't need to do that. It will automatically detect your data type, and that is a good thing and a bad thing too. So when you will be experiencing some of the things in Python, then you will know that this is a one of the bad thing in Python and also one of the best thing in Python. So everything have pro and cons, as you know, as you can think of. So this is what like it looks like, and it automatically reassign the values whenever you reuse the values. Just like if I type x is equal to x plus x, it will give us 4, right? So if I type x, then it will give us 4. If I again type x is equal to x plus x, it will give us 8. It will give us 8. Okay, so some of the things that you must keep in mind, that variables cannot start with numbers. Okay, it cannot be start with numbers, and it cannot be start with special symbols. Okay, it cannot start with numbers and it cannot start with special symbol, but the only special symbol that is allowed to store a variable is underscore. If you type underscore is equal to 4, it will give us nothing. It will now if we try to print underscore, that will give us 4. The only special variable that is allowed is underscore. And also if I type number name of my var, that means what I'm trying to tell you is here is that if you have multiple word variable, if you want to just a second, wait a second. Yeah, if you want to enroll your if you want to store multiple words as a variable, if you want to store that, then name underscore of underscore var is equal to 12. You can do like this, or you can use camel case like name of var is equal to 12. But still I would recommend to use underscore. It basically it separates your words very perfectly, and this is much less readable, but it's valid. Okay, so now let's talk about strings quickly. Let's talk about strings. Very good concept in Python. There are two ways that you can store your strings, which is single quote, okay, and also in double quote. Single quote and double quote. Then the best thing about this is, okay, so I have to store in the double quote. Anything is fine. There is no hard rule that you have to use single or double quote. Anything is fine to store a string. But sometimes what happens is, if you want to store a string like I can't go, okay, just a second, I can't go to the school. Okay, then as you can see, there is a problem here in this sentence, is we are using apostrophe and it is detecting as single inverted comma, that is waiting it to be end somewhere. So if this is the case, then you must use double quotes. Okay, if this is the case that you fall into, then you must use double quote. And one more thing, I just tell you that if I store this sentence, if I store this sentence in a variable, then if I type x, then it will show us the whole string in the single inverted comma. But as I must tell you that this is not a good practice, because this is only valid in Jupyter Notebook, or this is only valid in Google Colab. So you must have the habit of typing print x. Okay, then it will show us the real output. Okay, so whenever we are going to print something, then we are going to use print from now. Now let's talk about a very good concept of called formatting, or formatting print statements. Okay, very good concept in Python, formatting print statements, which is known as num is equal to 12, then name is equal to Sam. If I say, okay, if I'm storing these two variables, num is equal to 12 and name is equal to Sam, then there are two ways of formatting the print statement. So what do I mean by formatting of print statement? I basically mean is, if I am having sentence like I am at the age of 12 and my name is Sam. If I want to print this and I want these values to be dynamic, okay, I want that these values should change as the value of the variable gets changes, then we use the print formatting. Okay, it's very useful. Let me tell you how we are going to do that. There are two ways of print formatting. There is the first way. So let's talk about the first way first. So the first way, if I type, then I have print and I have this string. I'm at the age of 12 and my name is Sam, and I want to, I want to print number and the name of a person, okay, inside a statement, inside a print statement. So you have to type the curly braces there. Okay, instead of the value, you have to type the curly braces, and then if I type dot format, and if I pass the variable as num, and if I pass the variable as name, and then if I run the program, it will show us I'm at the age of 12 and my name is Sam. That means this particular braces is detecting this variable and this particular braces is detecting this variable. Okay, in the same way, if I change this value to 25 and I change this value to Samir and I rerun this code, I'm the age of 25 and my name is Samir. If I change this value to 60 and if I change this value to what, Ajay or something, then I'm at the age of 60 and my name is Ajay. So that is what how formatting helps us a lot. But there's a problem in this first way, because if I by chance change the order of the variable, then it will give us the bizarre output like this. I'm at the age of Ajay and my name is 60. So this is a very bizarre output that we are getting if by chance due to human error we are we are changing the position of the parameters. So that is why what we do is, if I rerun this code, it is perfect. There is a second way of doing this, which is, I suppose, a better way, but we are going to use both of them, don't worry. So we have print, okay, and if we have the let's try that. If we had I am at the age of this and my name is this, okay, I am at the age of this. So what we're going to do, we are going to pass a variable here, okay, 1 and 2, anything that you can type a and b or anything. Then what you can do, you can type dot format, okay, dot format, and you can say 1 is equal to num, comma 2 is equal to name. And if I run this code, I'm at the age of 16 and my name is Ajay. Okay, now even if by chance I change the position of the parameters, by chance if I do that, okay, by chance if I change the position of the parameters, okay, then also it will give us the right output. I'm at the age of 60 and my name is Ajay. So that is how you can easily use the print formatting statements, and it's a very good way of doing that. Now let's talk about the indexing of string. Okay, let's quickly talk about the indexing of string. I know this is going to be a big lecture, not a very big lecture, but still the basic things about Python we are going to discuss in this particular lecture, and then in the next lecture we are going to talk about if else and for loops and everything. So now let's talk about indexing of string. So what we are going to do, we are going to have s is equal to hello. Okay, this is a string, and if we want to grab the first element, then how will you do that? S, you'll be typing your string variable, whatever your variable is, and then you're going to present your index number there, which is 0. The index starts from 0, remember, then 0 1 2 3 4. So index 0 is having h, and to call the variable to grab the index, you will be using square brackets every time. Whatever the data type, if you want to grab an index, then you will be using the square brackets. So let's run this code. It will give us h, but remember, strings are immutable. You cannot change the values of sorry, this is a long syntax by mistake. So let's do that. If I want to change h into g, that means I want to say h is equal to Gallo, but I want to change h into g, so we cannot do that. Once the string is defined, you cannot change the characters of the string, but what you can do is you can change the whole string if you want, like this. Okay, you can change the whole string. So that is how you're going to grab the index of a particular string, grab the character of a particular string. If I type s of 4, it will give us 0. It will give us o. Okay, so that is like, this is called as indexing of a string. Now let's talk about the slice notation quickly. Slice notation, very good concept in string, and any collection of data type, what you can do is S is equal to, let's say, A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, I, K. Okay, then if I want to if I want to print all of the values from A to K, if I want to if I want the whole string, then what I can do, S of 0 colon. Okay, it will give us the whole string. Now if I want C, D, E, F and G, if I want C, D, E, F, G, so the index starts from 0, okay, and it is ending at 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Okay, but remember, whenever you are typing like this, whenever you are performing slicing operation, then what you can it's from 2 till 6, right? But we'll type 7 here, because the 7th index, the end part of your slice notation, is always rejected. That means it is ignored. That means 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 7th index is H, and we want till G only. So this 7th H will be ignored by the interpreter automatically. So if I type like this, F2 of 7 is C, D, E, F, G, that you want the output. Okay, in the same way, if I want till C, starting from C, so whenever you want something from starting, what the simple way is to do like this. This is how we are going to grab everything from starting. Okay, so in the next lecture we are going to talk about lists. Okay, in the next lecture we are going to talk about lists, and it's a very good concept. We are going to talk about lists, tuples, sets, dictionaries, and we are also going to talk about the differences between these four. So let's meet in the next lecture, and thank you so much. We'll meet in the next lecture.